Hi, and welcome to Two CPAs and the Mic, the podcast where we talk tax, finance, and all things related to business. Whether you're a business owner, working professional, or someone who wants to start a career in accounting, this is the podcast for you. Hosted by CCK Strategies partners Jeff Frable and Sara Mays, we dive into relevant business and tax matters with working professionals to make these topics less intimidating, relatable, and dare we say fun? Let's get down to business.
Welcome to this week's episode of Two CPAs and the Mic. I am Jeff Frable, a partner with CCK Strategies, and we are so glad you're joining us this week. We are covering relevant business and tax topics. We're doing it by applying straight talk, practical information, and not all the jargon and stuffiness that goes with our profession. Co-host Sara Mays, what's up?
You were going to do what's up?
What's up, Sara? You doing good today?
I'm doing good. I know we're recording it is April 9th.
It's April 9th. And we love to record these episodes even during busy season.
That's right. It gives us a good mental break.
Absolutely.
And have fun.
KP, welcome back. You weren't with us last time.
I was not. I heard your last podcast and you said I'd been up since 3.
That's right.
So thanks for the grace. Yeah.
It's good to have you back. If you are an entrepreneur or in the industry and you are lacing on your shoes for a walk or a run, you definitely want to stay with us today. We are talking about a topic that deals with evolution of a business, the resiliency and the development of purpose and legacy. And I would even go so far to say, if you are in a difficult spot right now as an entrepreneur, stay with us. You are definitely going to get some encouragement. But before we introduce our guest, let's have our little fun banter. Sara, Mamma Mia, last night?
Didn't go.
You didn't go?
No, I didn't. I rescheduled it to Saturday.
Okay. Well,
it's April 9th, or yesterday was.
I'm going tonight, girl. So,
well, good for you.
Yeah.
I just could not swing it Tuesday night. Yeah.
Well, next item that we need to discuss, prior episode corrections.
Oh, yeah. You messed up.
I messed up on the last episode. Because remember, I think in the last one, we actually admitted to a mistake. Last episode, our partner, I said, went to Malaysia. He went to Bangladesh.
Yes.
So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, we kind of alluded to the fact that the contributions, you can take those contribution deductions, whether you itemize or standard deduction.
Yeah.
We kind of alluded to it being 2025 at 2026.
That's right. That's
we'll
right.
fix that as well.
It is this year, but this year.
This year that we're in.
Yes.
Okay. This is the new spot.
Was that the friendly banter?
No, we're still going.
Okay.
We are still going. This now we're entering into a time that I'd like to call our sponsorship and future guest request. So, because we mention them all the time, QT, if you want to sponsor us, we're up for it. Yes. Harry Styles, if you need help with your taxes.
Yes.
JT,
always JT.
If you need help. And then the big request is Effingham, Illinois.
Yeah,
we are ready.
By there tomorrow night.
We need to go on the road.
We are ready to change the name of the podcast to Two Effing CPAs and the Mic.
Yes.
If they want to come online with us. So
I don't know if Christy will like that.
I'm going to leave that up for discussion.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's
yes, I'm throwing it out there.
Let's table it.
Future guests. Okay.
Yes.
Does anybody
Harry Styles?
Yes, JT. Does anybody watch Love on the Spectrum?
My daughter does.
No.
My daughter does.
Okay. This is the greatest show ever. It's the greatest show ever.
You said The Bear was the greatest show ever.
Well, this is the greatest reality show ever.
Okay.
They take individuals that are on the spectrum and they date and they follow their relationship. And these people are just so genuine and beautiful. And it's the way the world needs to be.
Yes.
Well, there's one couple on there, and I don't want to give the spoiler alert here, but they're like on LinkedIn and stuff. So I'm like, maybe I should follow them and see if they want to be on, because they're like little entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And one of the participants' dad is he's just so cool.
Yeah.
And he's he works for a technology company. So
okay.
Shout out. If anybody knows Harry Styles, Justin Timberlake, or Madison and Tyler from Love on the Spectrum, we want them on the show.
Or the mayor of Effingham.
Or the mayor of Effingham.
Oh, that would be.
Sure.
All right. Life updates. Sara, grandchild?
He is doing fantastic. He is 5 weeks old now.
5 weeks old.
It's insane. It is insane.
So my grandbaby's still coming. Everything's good, but I've got
That's 3
news.
weeks away.
I got news.
Let's hear it.
My son got engaged.
This is brand new.
This is brand. Christy knew, but you didn't.
No, you didn't.
He got engaged
Rude.
in Japan. and they went to Tokyo Disney the other day and they're just having the most fantastic time.
That is amazing. Congratulations.
An amazing teacher.
I do. She's a big Harry Styles fan. All right. Last item, the room update. We're in this new podcast room. It is going fantastic. We actually we know that there's some sound issues when we do items or we do meetings over Teams. So we've tried to correct that. Hopefully this works perfect. Big, huge, amazing, significant thank you to Dasha Janko Ferguson, Emily Johansson, and Lee Dollenberg.
Yes.
Now,
Lee is the man.
Lee is the man because he's the IT guy that made all this happen.
Yes.
And he allows us for the perfect segue to our guest.
Right?
Oh,
Yes, I am. This kind of hit me this morning. I'm like, oh, I love this. So we have a CEO and co-founder of a huge technology company. We have Lisa Nichols. She's CEO and co-founder of Technology Partners out of St. Louis, Missouri, right, Lisa?
That's right.
Oh, it's
St. Louis, Missouri.
So our meeting was kind of divine. All my meetings are divine appointments. We met up at the Realign conference in St. Louis, put on by Matt Granados and Life Pulse. He's a good friend of both of ours.
Shout out to Matt.
Yes. And I went up simply to meet people, and I got to meet Lisa. She's got an incredible story that we're going to jump into today. But to start with, let's brag about Lisa a little bit. This might make her uncomfortable, but she was named to the top 50 women shaping the future of St. Louis. She's part of the St. Louis Business 500 most influential business women list. She's the host of Something Extra podcast, which has about 300 plus episodes. The author of Something Extra, which is a new book. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's probably many other things. She focuses on empowering women in the tech industry. So much here. My fears we're going to rush through it, but welcome, Lisa Nichols.
It is so good to be with you guys. And I love your setup. Wow, you guys, that is amazing.
We're almost big time.
I know, we're legit.
You are. You're big time now.
And we may actually get the video going here pretty soon. Put that on YouTube. Then we're really legit. So,
yes.
Lisa, we know you're extremely busy. You got a lot of things going on. So thank you for your time today. Again, we want to talk through your growth as a company, but we really want to get into some of your mission, your vision, your passion. So let's just kind of start off at a very high level. Tell us about Technology Partners. Just tell us what you do, where you are, kind of how it got started, and where you are today.
Yeah. Well, I love to tell this story because my husband, Greg, and I co-founded the company in 1994. We were 12, teasing. We spent the first 10 years in corporate America, learned a lot, worked for some amazing companies. We're gifted very differently, which is always a good thing, right? When you start something. And so about 10 years in, we said, hey, let's take our individual strengths and let's build a company. And as of May the 4th, that will be 32 years.
Congratulations.
That we've ran our company. So we're a full service IT firm, purpose-driven IT firm, doing everything from helping people with their IT staffing to solutions to really important things like AI road mapping and all that fun stuff, leadership development as it relates to technology professionals. So that is what we do.
And you're nationwide too, right?
Yes, we are working all over the nation.
All right. Well, we want to get into more of this, but let's talk about you and your husband, Lisa, as you were going through the process of being corporate America. It sounds like you just don't develop an entrepreneurial mindset one day. You don't wake up that way. So apparently this must have been part of you growing up, both of you. Can you talk a little bit about that, how you discovered that entrepreneurial mindset and how it might have come to play as you were younger?
Oh, I would love to talk about this because Greg and I both, you're right. We both kind of had that entrepreneurial mindset. I'll just tell you guys though, we have known each other since we were 3 and 5.
Oh,
okay. We grew up in Kentucky. I promise you we're not cousins. We're not kissing cousins.
I could go so mad. You have all your teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
That can be said about Oklahomans too.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, we've known each other our entire life almost, and started dating in high school. He can remember things about me, funny stories before about 6th grade. He can remember funny stories. I don't really remember too much about him prior to 6th grade, but in 6th grade, I noticed him. I did notice him. He's really cute, kind of telling on his family a little bit. They were always late. But they insisted on sitting on the front row of the church. And so, I got to see him every Sunday walk down, and thought he was just so cute. So I kind of noticed him. And guys, believe it or not, I wrote in my diary, I don't think this happens very often, but I wrote in my diary, I know that he doesn't really know who I am, but I think God's told me I'm going to marry him one day.
No. Yeah. And how old were you?
I was in 6th grade.
Oh, did you frame that or something in the house?
You know what? No, we can't find it now.
Oh.
But I promise you, I wrote that in my diary because I've journaled almost my entire life, still journal to this day. But yeah, we started dating in high school, dated all the way through high school, all the way through college. And even in high school, we talked a lot about this, about if we could build a company one day that would do really good, do well. If the company does well, we could do a lot of good in the world. This was really on Greg's heart. I think I had an entrepreneurial spirit too. My dad was an entrepreneur. So I started a flower business when I was 7. That's a whole different story. But, the biggest thing, and you guys are financial people, so you'll get this. The biggest thing with my flower business is I went and stole my flowers from our neighbor's garden.
Oh, nice. That's low overhead.
Right. I know. It was very low overhead. My cost of goods sold was almost zero. It was going really well until my dad found out what I had done. And then, he taught me one of my first leadership lessons there. But yeah, so we talked a lot about this when we were in high school. And for me, that was so attractive. Because I'm that is the wagon that I want to hitch to, because I love that he was thinking about more than himself, right? And it was about what we could do if we could build this business. I love that. And so, and we've done a lot of that. We've been able to help a lot of organizations. I mean, we're very big supporters of the community, and in time and talent and treasure. Really, nice. We send our people to do volunteer days for Habitat for Humanity and the St. Louis Food Bank and et cetera, et cetera. I'm co-chairing the 50th anniversary of the Gateway Down Syndrome Association Gala this year. I mean, we give up our time and our talent and our treasure for the community. Yeah, for the greater good.
Well, Lisa, you impressed all of us by the fact you referenced cost of goods sold. Not only do you know that from your position as a CEO, but you have an accounting background. Don't you? Didn't you tell me that?
Yeah, I do.
So.
Yeah, that's how I started. I started in corporate accounting for McDonnell Douglas. And I'm grateful for you guys. I love that you love it. After about 5 years, I'm oh, I don't know that I can do this for 20 years. So pivoted at that point, went into corporate sales for another Fortune 500 company. But all of those things have come into play, right, with our business. So I'm grateful for that background. And so if you've got young people that are listening right now, accounting is a wonderful foundation for whatever you do.
Thank you, Lisa.
There we go.
Yes, there you go. There's your recruitment.
I'm sure your CPAs know this, but there's no fooling you when they come in to explain either an audit or a tax return or anything like that. You know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah. And Greg has a degree in computers and accounting. So we both know a little bit. Right. So that's good. Yeah.
Okay. So Lisa, take us through the process there. You started the company. Talk a little bit about, I'm sure you didn't go out day one and start making tons of money and everything's perfect and this unicorn startup. Let's hear a little bit about how you went through that process, how your role has changed, maybe how Greg's role has changed and where you are today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you're right, Jeff. It doesn't start as a unicorn for sure, but it starts small. And fortunately, at the time, because I get asked this question a lot, did you get venture capital? Did you get, angel investors? And we did not. I mean, that wasn't really as much of a thing back then when we started. And so fortunately, we had not lived above our means, if you will. I mean, we could pretty much pay our bills on what my husband, Greg, was making consulting, so that I, basically worked pro bono, for the first couple of years while we're building up cash flow. Right. And because we didn't want to take on partners and that sort of thing. I mean, we really had to measure our growth. I mean, I can remember saying, because we started as staffing, but now for the last 15 years, we've been doing more solutions and the company has evolved so much. But when we started, it was more like, okay, we can only take on 5 new people this month because that's all we could afford payroll wise. So we started, it's been slow and steady. And
slow and steady wins the race, right?
Slow and steady wins the race, really. And when you first start, I mean, you do everything, right? You're the accounting department, the shipping department, the HR department, everything. But, you got to be willing to do that in the beginning. And obviously now, fortunately, I can fly at a much higher level because we have people on our team that do things so much better than I could ever do.
Absolutely.
Right, in those areas. And so I think that's one of the things you have to learn as an entrepreneur. But in the beginning, don't sugarcoat it. It's hard. Mm-hmm. And you're working 100-hour weeks sometimes, in the beginning to build.
So how was that with you and Greg together as a couple? I mean, there must have been some stressful times, I would imagine.
Oh, Jeff, how much time do you have?
We only have 26 more minutes or 36 more minutes.
Oh my goodness. How much time do you have? Yeah. Because we're both pretty much type A people. And so, that was hard. I get asked that question a lot too. And I said, the miracle, what is it? 30% of companies make it to year 10. I think 30% of the startups make it to year 10. So I said, the fact that we've made it this far is a miracle, right? It's a miracle. I'm so grateful to God for that blessing. But I said, the fact that we have stayed married and we still like each other, that is even a bigger miracle. But I mean, we've learned in the beginning, it's rough. And knowing where your swim lane is. And usually when we would get in trouble, it would be because I'm trying to swim over in his lane, but really making sure that we are working on our strength zones. I know what my responsibilities are. I know what his are. Little hacks like this. I mean, you guys know, because Jeff, I mean, I think you were employee number what?
7.
7.
007. 007.
Yes. It is really, really hard in the beginning because you do feel like you need to do everything, but it can be consuming, right? It can be consuming. I mean, you can be just thinking strategically all the time. And Greg and I made that mistake in the beginning. I mean, we are talking business almost 24/7. We go on vacation. We're talking strategy. We're walking at night. We're talking strategy. And at one point we said, you know what, this is not healthy. And what we need to do is, instead of leaving the leftovers, like making sure that during the work hours in the week, we make time to have meetings with one another, just like we do our people, instead of leaving that for your family time. I think our kids got sick of hearing, about the business all the time. I do believe in bringing your kids into those conversations, but the way you do it is really important. It needs to be very intentional there. But I mean, we've made all the mistakes, but we've learned a few things and it works beautifully. And he's my best friend. He's my husband, my best friend, my partner. I mean, we are lockstep with each other now. So, but in the beginning, it was rough.
Well, it's nice that you mentioned the strengths and staying in your lane, because that speaks to Christy's heart. She's certified in Clifton Strengths, and so she's preaching that kind of thing all the time.
I'm hearing you when you're talking about being strategic and your high responsibility, and the beauty of you can stay strategic even when you're going on those walks. You just get to choose what conversation you're being strategic in.
Yep.
That is so right. Yeah, and it doesn't always need to be about the business, Christy. It can be about your family. Right?
I can imagine those early tax conversations with the CPA where Lisa and Greg are going, when we talked about it when we went on vacation. So
it's a deduction.
It's a deduction.
Lisa probably belted out a plan and had it built.
She probably told them.
She could provide the data to support it.
So Lisa, I know you're proud of your company, your people, your culture. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're most proud of with your culture and the way it's developed over the years? And does Technology Partners have any kind of significant BHAGs out there, big, hairy, audacious goals?
Yeah, well, absolutely, right? Because if you don't aim for something, you're going to hit it every time, right? So yeah, we got some BHAGs, but yeah, culture. I think that's the other thing. At first, you are working so hard just to survive, right? And then I realized, my foundation of my education was awesome, but what you don't really realize is number one, how much emotional intelligence you're going to need, how difficult it is in pressured situations. Those are things you learn over experience. And I've relied so much on my faith. My faith is the bedrock of everything for me. Lots of time in prayer, But yeah, realizing that culture is more, and we have core values, just like everybody that are on the wall, but it's so much more than that. The culture of a company can be felt. It's really felt. You can have those words on the wall, but are your people feeling that, right? Are they feeling seen? Are they feeling valued? Are they feeling heard? Are they feeling cared for? I just talked to a friend this morning, and let's see, she goes, I've come down to 3 words. It's clarity, courage, and compassion. And you've got to have all of those. It's like the 3-legged stool, right? You've got to have compassion for your people. And I know that it sounds like a tired adage, but it's true. People don't really care what you know until they know how much you care. And now I am going to be the first to tell you that we are not perfect in this. There have been times where we've cared really well. And then there's been times where, yeah, I know we haven't cared as well, right? But that's always the intention and it's always the aspiration. But I'm just going to say, we've won multiple awards for top workplace. Greg and I've always believed from the get-go, if we took care of our people, if you really concern yourself with the employee experience, your employees will take care of your customers. Your customers are going to feel that energy from your employees. If they feel cared for, your customer is going to feel that too. And then our success would follow. And I have to just put a little plug in here, guys, because I'm so proud of it. We have measured our Net Promoter Score for as long as I can remember now. And we have a third party every year that does this.
And what is that score?
We got our score in February and we got 100.
Yeah. Mic drop.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never, I have looked, I have researched, I have never.
Christy, I know.
Way to go, girl.
I know. We were shocked. We've always been way above average, but yeah, we got 100. And so that's just a testament, honestly, though, because there's no way that we would get that if your employees are not bought in, right? And they're not engaged. So I don't know. Those kind of things just inspire me to want to do more, right? And so we have to understand as leaders that, yes, you have to look at EBITDA. You have to look at your profitability. We're not going to be here if we don't do that, right? We're not going to be a sustainable going concern if we don't look at those. But leadership is so much bigger than that. It's like, how are you leaving your people? Are your people better off because they're working at your organization, right? And even when we lose people, because we do, people get opportunities, they move on, right? But for me, success would be for even those people to say, you know what, what I learned at Technology Partners, how I grew as both a professional and as a person at Technology Partners, for them to say that, to me, that's success. So it really becomes so much more. And like I said, you definitely have to pay attention to your bottom line. You have to pay attention to the numbers, the KPIs, the OKRs. But for me, even the bigger impact is, how are you impacting your people?
We could stop right there. And
Christy's crying. We need a tissue.
You have to tell the world. They don't see it.
Wow. It's good stuff.
Inspirational.
Well,
sure.
And I think we're going to get to more of where that comes from now, because I want to make sure we definitely transition quick enough to this, because we want to get into your passion, your mission, your vision, all that, which you've already shared with us. But Lisa, tell us about your family and tell us about Allie. in 5 minutes or less.
In 5 minutes or less. Well, you know,
we're gonna get into her, but tell us about Allie.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Family is where life is, right? Oh, my goodness. And Greg and I have been just partners in all those aspects. But we have a son, Jordan, who lives in Oregon. Jordan's 33. We have a daughter, Paige, who is 32. And then our youngest daughter, Allie, is 30. And then we have a grandson, Sawyer. So he would be very upset if I did not mention his name.
You bet. Mention him all.
He's the apple of our eye.
Yes.
He is Poppy's best friend. Let me just tell you, my daughter Paige says all the time, she goes, I didn't know when I gave birth to Sawyer that I was actually giving birth to Dad's best friend.
Oh.
But they are like two peas in a pod, which is just so precious. But so Allie's our youngest, and Allie has been one of my greatest teachers, teaches me something new every day. And let me tell you why. So when Allie was born, she was born with Down syndrome. If you know anything about Down syndrome is an extra 21st chromosome. If you've ever been around someone with Down syndrome, and now there is a misconception out there that, all Down syndrome children are loving and listen, we have our spicy days too. Okay. Let me just tell you, we do. But generally, Allie is so loving, so accepting, humorous, funny, talented, confident. The girl is so confident. I have to tell you guys, Jeff, I think I told you this. She is a fantastic ballroom dancer. I mean, really.
That's so cool.
Fantastic.
We saw the video.
You saw the video from
LinkedIn.
Saturday?
Yes. It was amazing. It was beautiful.
Yes, that girl. Yes, she started dancing she started taking lessons in 2018. She's gone on to compete and just do all kinds of things. But last Thursday, she competed in a national gateway dance competition. She did 40 heat. And basically what that means is very like one after another, mambo, salsa, East Coast swing, cha-cha, rumba, all these different dances, right? She competed in 40 heats. She took first place in 30 of them.
Oh.
Okay. Then the video that you saw was her solo, and she took first place in solo. She got 4 medals, scholarship money. And this is the funniest thing, guys. So she had to be on the dance floor ready to go at 8 a.m. on Thursday. We didn't finish till 4:30. And we finished, and she said, okay, now I want to go out to dinner. So we go to dinner.
Well, I mean, if you're dancing 40 heats, you're going to get ravenous.
You're going to get ravenous. Yes, she needed to replace those calories. Yes, Sarah, for sure. But so we're at dinner. We're having a really nice dinner. So about halfway through dinner, she goes, now I want to go to a movie. And I'm like, girl, I'm exhausted. And I mean, literally, we put the movie off till later on in the weekend because Mama was just tired. I'm like, but she's remarkable. She's got so much stamina, so much energy. But here's the cool thing about her. The dancing brings her so much. She's really good at it, but she doesn't have hubris about it. That's the other thing I love about her. She's not egomaniacal about it. She just, is like, yeah, this is my thing. This is what I do. And I've prepared and I'm going to go show everybody what I've done, which I just absolutely love. But here's what I've said. It brings her so much joy. You guys probably saw the joy when you watched that video. But here's what the really kicker is. When people watch her seeing how much joy it brings them is a double portion of joy for her.
Absolutely.
Where she gets her energy.
Right.
So she is just amazing. So she has just been my greatest teacher. I mean, literally, I think the way Allie approaches life is the way that we are supposed to live. I mean, if you're in front of her, she's not on her phone. She's not thinking about what she's doing next. She's like, I want to connect with Jeff. I want to connect with Christy. I want to connect with Sarah. I want to get to know them. And so just being present in the moment, that's taught me so much. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys are like this, but I mean, my brain is about 10 steps ahead of where my feet are planted, right? Because we're always thinking about the next thing we need to do. And that is not her. I mean, she's in the moment. She loves people for who they are. I mean, in fact, the differences don't even faze her, really. And I've got stories, beautiful stories about that. So yeah, I mean, there's just so much goodness.
So much
there.
to talk about there.
Yeah.
So much to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. I know we only have so much time, or else we could be talking for a long time about this. So Allie is, you said 31 years old?
30. She's 30.
30. And the company is how old?
32.
Okay.
And our oldest son is 33. And our middle daughter's 32.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So Jordan and the company are the same age.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hearing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
Yeah.
where I want to go with this question is I'm just imagining Lisa and Greg just all over the place starting this company. You become with child again, and then I'm assuming, did you find out about her condition before you found out when she was born?
After 2 weeks after.
Okay.
And that's a whole nother conversation, Jeff, about the waiting and about the praying that God, there was a possibility. And back then, it's not this way now. And I did not do any of the prenatal. I did a few of the, like, they checked protein. Everything looked normal. Honestly, there was no indicator at all. And 3 days after she was born, we'd already brought her home. 3 days after she was born, we were in the pediatrician's office. And he said, "Hey, I just have to tell you, there's some concern in the nursery from some of the nurses that she may possibly have Down syndrome." And I'm just going to be real with you guys. I thought I was in a bad dream. I'm like, what? And it was uncanny because her baby pictures and Jordan's baby pictures, almost you couldn't tell them apart. The big concern in the nursery was she was a lot floppier. So her muscle control and tone was a little bit less. But in my mind, she was actually early. And so I'm just thinking, I kind of had noticed that, but I'm like, oh, it's just, she was early, right? And her muscles were not. So yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I felt like I was in a really bad dream. And so they said, the only way we can tell for sure, thank goodness it's not this way now, but they're like, we got to get you into a neurologist, which my OB was able to get me in the very next day with a neurologist. And they actually take the blood samples, grow the cells in a petri dish. And they're like, we have to send this away to, this kind of sounds so archaic now. We have to send this to a lab in California, and it'll take 2 weeks to get the results back. So we were in a 2-week waiting period. And, Greg and I have known the Lord since we were teenagers, right? And just praying, God, let this not be the case, please. And then you have all the what ifs. I had all the what if questions. Had some friends of ours that were about 10 years older that kind of walked with us through that season. And I can remember Sharon, the wife, going, Lisa, she goes, and honey, she goes, let's just take one day at a time. Because all these what ifs that you're bringing up, they may or may not ever happen. And then you've spent all this negative energy and worry over this. So she said, just one day at a time. But I will just tell you, during that time, we were praying, God, please don't let this be the case. Heal her.
Mm-hmm.
If any of your listeners want a good movie to go watch I Can Only Imagine 2.
Okay.
And it's the story of the song, Even If, by Mercy Me. And I thought a lot about, sometimes we pray about things and
Lisa, like you said, you're a type A personality. Your husband is as well. And
Yes.
I really want to focus, I want this to make sure it comes across really well, but I want to focus on your situation because you're a wife, you're a mom, you're a female. You go through different things than we as males do. And so with all this responsibility that you had, how did you cope with the control situation where I'm guessing you felt like you could control everything up to this point in time? So how did you deal with control and how did you deal with support? Because you already mentioned you had some special people in your life, but how did you learn to give up control of this whole thing?
That is such a good question because I can still fall into that control freak kind of mode. But I will tell you something, Allie has really taught me that sometimes you just got to hold your palms up and receive what has come to you, and just, there's things you cannot control. I could not control how quickly she walked, Jeff, or how quickly she talked. She does all those things now. She dances, right? But it took a long time for her to walk. It took her, she was 8 years old before she strung words together. So yeah, I mean, there are some things that we can control. One thing that we can control is our attitude about things.
Okay, I'm not surprised at all about the employee culture that you've built, because it sounds like you and your husband have this amazing strategic mindset where you're always thinking of the future and you execute the plan. And then this beautiful gift of Allie lands and then allows you to love well through the process of this supersonic movement that you're in. And then you have this tremendous balance. And what a way to learn to love well.
Absolutely.
Christy's real good at that, just kind of bringing it all around at the end there. But how long did it take you to learn to give up that control, Lisa? I mean, was it like 2 days?
Over
2 months?
time.
Or do you
over time?
do you
Still
have
working?
it? Yeah. It could be still working.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Over time. It was not a one moment. It's over time, and just faith wise, it's just like you have to just, whatever it is you're going through. And Jeff, I told you, this has been a hard business climate. I will tell you, the last 2 years. And sometimes you're just like, oh, if I just work harder, I got to work harder, right? Sometimes there are things that we can control, and then sometimes there are things that we cannot. And the things that we cannot, we just have to say, okay, even adversity and things like, it's taught me to say, because sometimes when we're going through really, really hard times, we're just like, we want it to go away, right? It's not fun. I mean, let's just be real. It is not fun to go through hard times, whether that's financially, whether that's in your business, whether that's with parenting, family, whatever it is, those are not fun. But how are you going to change your attitude? How can you reframe that to say, I'm going through this right now. Okay, this is not fun, but what am I supposed to learn from it? And to be honest with you, and I don't know if you guys can attest to this or not, some of my greatest lessons have been in the valleys.
Yes.
Not always on the summit when we're getting a 100 NPS score. It's like those harder times are the times that, if you will allow them to, can be your greatest growth, period.
Unfortunately, you don't always know it when you're in it.
No, you don't.
And if someone comes up to you telling you this kind of thing when you're in it, you're like, yeah, whatever. Shut up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why support is a continual thing. It's a continual walk. It's a continual journey with friends, loved ones through that process. And I'm sure you experienced that through the last whole 31 years, for sure.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We can't get through these things on our own. We were never meant to do things alone. We were meant to have community. And I would say, for any of your listeners out there that feel alone, find somebody, find a community, find a church group, find a professional organization, whatever it is. You need other people in your life, because there are times where you literally are exhausted and cannot hold your hands up any longer, and you need people that are going to hold you up. And let's say, full circle, we need to be holding other people's hands up, right?
We covered this in a previous episode with Michael Brody Waite, and he talked about his recovery and the principles that he uses with business leaders. And one of them is giving up the outcome. So many of these things he mentioned as well. You're right in line with, it's just, the other thing was, we asked him, what's the one thing that all entrepreneurs suffer with? And he said, they all think they're alone. And we talked about the concept that you need someone to walk with you. So yeah, Lisa, you're speaking truth. We appreciate the honesty. So let's go to the book. Talk about the book a little bit. What's the basis of the book? We talk about this extra chromosome, and it has to do with your book, the title, as well as what you dive into. So give us a little bit of insight into the book.
Something extra. So yes, Allie was the inspiration for the book. I've never heard the audible voice of God, but God told me in 2017 to write the book. I was finally obedient and started that in the summer 24. And then the book came out September 25. But the book, so I've done my podcast. We've already talked about this since 2018. So I've just had amazing leaders on that have just poured so much wisdom and content. And my question always to them at the end is, what's the something extra that every leader needs? So how do you, and we're all just ordinary people, right? But we can be extraordinary, right? If we lean into our something extras. And the thing is, I've got a card right here. I've got like scriptures on my desk, but I've got a card right here. I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Psalm 139:14. And I start the book with that because I happen to believe every person was created with unique gifts and strengths, right? Chrissy,
Yes.
strength finders, do strength finders.
Let's go, girl.
Yeah, get our top 5 strengths. I believe that. Not everybody recognizes that though, right? And what is so interesting, because Jeff, you mentioned it. I've had like close to 380 leaders on my podcast. And it's never, honestly, I don't think anybody has ever mentioned, oh, your skills. You got to work on your skills. It's things like humility and vulnerability and servant leadership and curiosity. It's these things that really all of them have highlighted is the something extra that every leader needs. So doing the podcast, like I said, God told me to write the book in 2017. So is really a compilation. There's 23 different leadership traits in the book, and it's divided into 4 sections. The first section, it starts on the inside because I believe that that's where it starts as a leader. And the very first chapter is humility. And I think as a leader, that is one of those character traits, that one of those things that if you think you're all that, number one, your people aren't going to want to be around you, right? Those aren't fun people to be around. You're not going to hear other people's voices, which we've already talked about. People want to feel seen. They want to feel heard. They want to have a voice. You're not going to grow because you think you've already got it all, right? And growth mindset is a big thing. That's one of the chapters of the book. But yeah, the first part is it starts on the inside. So you get that self-awareness, Jeff. We talked a lot about that at Realign.
Yes, we did.
Right? You got to be self-aware. And the interesting statistic on that, I think, is 85% of people say they're self-aware. But then Harvard's done all these studies and only 10 to 15% really are,
Wow.
But then once you do that, then that's when you can go out and you can be outwardly focused and serving other people. And so, yeah, what was really important to me with the book, there's 23 different chapters, but at the end of every chapter, there are 5 to 6 pages of reflection questions and exercises. Because I happen to believe you can't just blow through something and really get it into your DNA. You got to sit with it, right? You got to sit with it to get it from that 18 inches from your head to your heart. We want those things to get to people's hearts because that's when transformation happens. So I'm excited about it. It just won an International Impact Award in the categories of business, inspiration, and motivation, which was really fun. I was as surprised as anybody on that one. I'm like, what? Could not believe that. But yeah, my goal with the book is I just want people to understand, first of all, if they don't believe that they were created with something extra, I want them to embrace that and to learn that for themselves, that everybody is fearfully and wonderfully made. And my something extra might look different than Sarah's and Christy's and Jeff's, but we
it's just
all
as
have.
important.
Yeah.
It's just as important. And Allie's been the best case study for that because, yeah, I mean, we still struggle with simple math, right? Accounting would not be a profession for her, but being the hostess with the mostest, you won't find anybody better.
So what I think I hear you saying is that this book would be a great discussion book for a group of leaders to go through, like almost like a small group study.
Absolutely, Jeff. Yes.
I was just going to say, let's do it.
Let's do it. The other thing I wanted to ask you, Lisa, is what kind of advice would you give to somebody that's going through a hard season, especially an entrepreneur, a hard season professionally, personally? And I think you've touched on all that. Could you say anything else to someone who might be listening and we believe may be listening just for this word from you? But how would you respond to that question?
First of all, you're not alone. We all go through times. And people may look like they got it all together on the outside, but I guarantee you, every person you encounter has gone through hard times. So you're not alone. That's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is hold on. Hold on. There's a scripture in the Bible that says joy comes in the morning. weeping may last for the night, but joy comes in the morning. If you can just hold on. The other thing I would say, Jeff, is tell somebody, be vulnerable, tell them, hey, I've got this kid right now I'm really struggling with, because there is a good chance that maybe that person has gone through that already, right? And I think sometimes I know what holds us back, fear, of looking like we don't have it all together. Sometimes pride, admitting that, right? But yeah, tell somebody, because I guarantee you there are people out there that want to help. There's people out there that want to come along beside you and help you hold your arms up. But yeah, Don't give up. Don't give up.
Great advice. I believe there's someone out there that needs to hear that, and they're hearing it. And so, Lisa, what's a great way to connect with you? How can we find the book? Where's the best place to get the book? Direct us a little bit there.
Yeah, well, Amazon.
Okay, all right.
It's in Amazon. It's at Barnes and Noble. It's at Target. Yeah, Amazon might be your easiest because you'll get it tomorrow or whatever. There is a website you can go to, www.somethingextrabook.com. Really complicated. Somethingextrabook.com. You can go there, and there's all kinds of materials and that there. Yeah, but reach out to me. I'm very, very active on LinkedIn. My podcast, Something Extra, you can find it on all the different platforms. The URL for Technology Partners is technologypartners.net. So more information is on our website, company website. Yeah, there's just a lot. My girls, Allie and Paige, have their own company now called Kindred Spirit. All of these bracelets that I told you guys I was taking off, that's all their bracelets. So that's kindredspirits.shop. Yeah, we got a lot going on, but what a blessing. What a beautiful journey. God's got us all. What a beautiful life God's got us all on. And it doesn't mean there's not going to be hard times, because there will be. Even if you have not had hard times, I hate to burst the bubble, but you will. There will be hard times. But the thing I would say is have an anchor for your soul. Right. Have an anchor for your soul during those times. And that can be, you got to anchor on something. It can be your values, whatever. For me, it's my faith, but for other people, it could be something else. But make sure that it's something that doesn't shift.
Yeah. So much good stuff there, Lisa. We know we're a little short on time because you need to jump on a call, and we want to be respectful of your time. So I have one more thing for you. And once we're done with that, if you want to jump off, go, she's on Teams right now, jump off and do that. You will not offend us one bit. But we do have a tradition on this podcast, and we send our guests through rapid fire. All right. So are you ready, Lisa?
I'm ready.
Go. Okay.
Let's go.
Are you a Cardinals fan?
Oh, absolutely. Love the Cards. Okay.
Albert Pujols or Will Clark?
Albert Pujols.
Okay.
Allie threw out the first pitch to Albert a few years ago.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
Okay. Describe your style in one word.
Coach, cheerleader, consultant.
Nice. All right. I said one word, but that's okay. We'll give you two. Do you have pets?
Yes.
What's
of pets.
What's the weirdest thing that one of your pets does?
Oh my goodness. I don't know if it's weird, but it's very frustrating. We have a rescue that our son rescued several years ago, and then he left for Utah. So this dog has now become our dog, Gage.
I know that feeling.
We love him.
Riley,
we love him. But poor little guy, when we got him, he had been abused, had a broken jaw. We call him our special needs dog. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he urinates on everything.
Okay.
So he has to wear a diaper constantly. So I don't know if it's weird. It's just it can be very frustrating though, but we love him. We love him anyway.
Absolutely. What's your go-to snack?
Ooh, probably a banana.
Ooh, healthy.
Yeah.
All right. And last question. What makes you hopeful, Lisa?
What makes me hopeful? Well, right now, I would say, and I'm going to go back to my faith, I'm seeing a revival. I'm seeing a boldness with people about their faith that I've not seen in a while. And I've seen integration of faith and work.
Yes.
And Jeff, I think I'd even said this at Realign. There is a quote from Billy Graham that I love. And Billy Graham many years ago said he felt like that revival was going to happen in the marketplace. And so my hope is that more and more people will come to realize that there's more to this life than just building a business and doing the things that we do. And that gives me a lot of hope. People are being more bold, I think.
Well, Lisa, thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your vulnerability and everything. So behind the scenes here, sausage making thing, do you need to get off the call? Do you,
what time is it? Yeah,
it's
because
noon.
12 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
we've got our Nashville call.
Let's let you go and we'll wrap up the show. But Lisa, thank you so much. If you have any questions or want to reach out to Lisa, please do so. But Lisa, thank you. Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon.
If you ever, literally, I would love to come and speak to your group. If you guys have ERGs or whatever, I've done that for a lot. Like Equifax just had me to their global women's network. And they're now doing the Something Extra book in their book club, which is so cool. So you let me know about that. Thanks guys so much for having me.
Thank you, Lisa. Take care.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Okay. What did you guys think?
It was amazing.
Where do I start?
Well, that's what I'm at. Go ahead. Where do you start, Christy?
I think that anyone who needed to be heard for such a time as this right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just everybody does have something extra. And if you have trouble finding that, talk to somebody.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that part of it.
On the table again.
Yeah. It's a good thing Clarence isn't here or else.
Clarence will slap my hand.
Yeah.
So the one thing I wanted to make sure I was clear about with one of my questions is it just seems like it's different when the wife is in this situation. I mean, she's the mom. She's kind of, right or wrong, we kind of gravitate to primary caregiver, but she has more on her plate and she worked through this whole thing. That to me, that's what's amazing.
Yeah, I think so. Well, plus too, I mean, I think from a dude's perspective,
that's what I'm
you guys have that provider mindset. Like I'm the one that has to, I got to quit banging on the table. You have that provider mindset and you want to provide for your family. And yes, the wife usually gets to the primary care. But what I love about what she was saying about having a strong partner with her in that, I think that speaks. It was huge.
Thank you for saying that. I need someone to really explain what I was trying to say there. So thank you.
She said they complemented each other. I think I've all been blessed with having spouses that complement each and every one of us.
Even some that don't listen to this podcast.
Oh, I'm going to have to text Sherry on the side.
I know. Well, anything else?
I love that she brought in how different we are and we all need to have those ideas at the table. I think sometimes we believe that our strengths are so much different than everybody else's that why does it matter? But the difference is our ideas have to be present so that we can see a perspective through a different lens. Doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. That comparison just gets in the way of, well, what if I'm not as smart? What if I'm not as clever as somebody else? Who cares? Bring it to the table because we all need the ideas. And if someone is holding back because they think that, here's your permission. Let it go. What are they going to do? Tell you?
Elsa-fy that.
Okay. So what? Let's move on.
I don't think you heard me.
What?
I said Elsa-fy that.
Who's L? I mean, let it go.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm sorry.
You people.
Sarah, do you have any closing comments? Any thoughts?
Not anything extra than what we've already.
No, you have something extra. You also.
What do I have?
You always have something extra. That's the name of the book.
I know, but I'm just like, I thought you were asking me like I have something to say. Yeah.
I got
y'all. Yeah.
We're
Sorry.
gonna just sit over here and Elsa-fy.
So that's just some of the honesty that goes on behind the scenes.
I know
we
there was a book, but I thought there was something. I thought there was something extra you wanted me to say, and I did not have anything.
I just wanted you to chuckle like Christy did, and so sometimes we don't cut any of this out either. That's the incredible.
Oh, So embarrassing.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. Do you want to run through the close or do you want me to, Sarah?
Sarah,
Do it.
Because you kind of nailed it last time. So
Did you hear it?
I did listen to it. Nice job. So take us through.
All right. Well, you know what? If you guys want to talk to us, you can email us at podcast@cckcpa.com. We would love to hear from you. We have yet to really get that influx of email communication.
Except all of those wonderful ideas of how we can broaden our reach through YouTube.
That's right. They do.
We get
We get a lot of those sponsors.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
helpful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Also, we just seriously want to thank CCK for giving us this platform to reach further than these four walls. And we like to thank Christy. You are you keep us on the straight and narrow. My wonderful husband, Robert, who is the complement to my something extra, for the lovely intro and outro music. To Clarence at Tulsa Internet Marketing Services. You are amazing with getting us out into the public. And then to Emily Johansson and to Dasha Janko Ferguson. You ladies are friggin' awesome. And we just love you. And thank you so much for all the background work you do. And so we just want to say, join us next time as you listen to these two CPAs and you get to find out who's on the mic.
The information provided on this podcast is for general informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute accounting, tax, legal, or financial advice. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, laws and regulations change and individual circumstances vary. Always consult with a qualified CPA or professional advisor before making any financial or business decisions. The views expressed by the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of any organizations they are affiliated with. Listening to this podcast does not create a client-accountant relationship. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledge and agree to those terms. And that's a wrap for this episode of Two CPAs and the Mic. If you found today's episode helpful, please subscribe, share, and leave us a review. Have questions or ideas for a topic? Reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Email us at podcast@cckcpa.com.